Hey, my mug's in your way. Hi, everyone. Metaphysical Mama. How's everyone doing? Just making my tea with some maca in my monkey cup. Excuse me. So how's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome. If it's your first time, if you're revisiting, I so appreciate you coming to hang out with me and spending any time and energy here. It's super grateful, right? Time is money, as they say, right? Money. And we're in the money. So let's see. So as the title says, that was something my Nana used to say to me all the time, and she used to crack herself up saying it. And the blind man picked up his hammer and saw. So we're just going to get a little into like some of the, right, like the ways that we can, right, look at that and see if we can find some, interesting or, just the different ways that we can perceive a word, a sentence, a saying, right, a term, yesterday, I had today's Monday, so happy Moon Day, and I had such a great, beautiful weekend. It was such a nice weekend, truly. So grateful for that. It was a nice break to just kind of not be super channeling and not be, I love channeling, but it was just a little reprieve, I'll say. It was like just a little, like a day off, right? A little weekend off of certain energies, which was just really nice. So I don't know if anybody else experienced that or not. I didn't quite feel so stressed out, like, and anxiety. I was able to just kind of be, I always go with the flow. But anyhow, I don't know how to quite explain it. It was just a nice, relaxing feeling, so to speak. I also went to the beach, so that helps. It was so hot out this weekend, and that was part of it too, because I love the heat. I love when it's super warm and right, and we don't need much. It's like I can just pretty much drink water, eat fruit, right, eat my nuts that I like, and I'm full. And then it's like, if you want like a light meal, that works. But that's kind of my natural, if I scrape down and strip down to the bare necessities, right? And the blind man picked up his hammer and saw. Right? Jesus was a carpenter, right? And then how does a blind man see what he's going to hammer and saw? I used to always think when my Nana said that, like, And the blind man picked up his hammer and saw. Air Guardian, shift your perception. She-wolf, unleash the wild within. And the blind man picked up his hammer. Makes me think of Thor. And saw. Makes me also think of the thoughts come through my mind of, right, War. And I'm listening to War's greatest hit right now. War, the band, greatest hits. They sing low rider. And they sing that song, why can't we be friends? If anybody is familiar or unfamiliar, they also sing Slipping into Darkness. The World is a Ghetto. The Cisco Kid. All Day Music. Take Charge with Authority. And White Witch. Be the Light. And they sing Summer, Me and My Baby Brother, Gypsy Man, and Southern Part of Texas. That's what's on their greatest hits album, Avenue Records. So keywords, keys, right? Gypsy Man, I spent Me and My Baby Brother, Summer. The world is a ghetto. The world is a vampire. Oh, shift your perception again. Air Guardian. Nice. So, you know, yeah. And then I don't know how everybody's feeling. And this is a lot of, right, change, money that we're going through. And there's a lot of fear that comes, right? Be brave and honest. Along with, again, Air Guardian, shift your perception. Let's cut these. Snake, shed old skin. So when we're so used to, right, the word human or alcoholic or codependency, right, those terms, those are behaviors. Same with being human. It's a behavior. If you say you're human, right, which it's nothing wrong with that. It's just that, and legally too. I'm not just speaking spiritually, metaphysically, or in any kind of like. It's not. That's not the place I'm talking about. This is like etymology and having more knowledge, more understanding, right? It's not even really knowledge. I mean, knowledge is super important, right? As far as grow within your current situation. Wise ones, yeah, owl and the crow there. My friend and I were just speaking of the owls and the crows and the ravens. The birds. Bird is the word. Stand your ground. That means be you, right? So as we're coming into, right, awakening into ourselves, which is when we close our eyes, we blindfold, right, the five senses, so to speak, so that we can perceive, right, shift our perception and see what's really going on inside ourselves, what really needs to change, the things that we've made excuses for and say, we can't do that because, right, society won't accept me, my family won't accept me, that's just the way it is. You can't do that, right? I can't do that because then I would be, if I did that, then. So it doesn't mean just F it and do. It just means, hold on, respect yourself, guardian angel. You are not alone. Feather. 919. Broken arrow. Embrace the energy of peace. And there you go, broken arrow. So, right, someone shot an arrow and it broke in the air. Who've been firing shots? I got my feather right here. We got lots of air energy then. So some Mercury too. Oh my goodness, this morning I could not speak to save my life. I was on the phone with my friend and I was tripping over my words, saying things like that I didn't mean. I don't know if they were coming out different words than I was thinking, and I was like, what in the F and F? Anyway, Mercury. A little bit of mix-ups there. It's like the left brain was thinking something, but then the right brain spit a different word out. It was just 10, 10, 10, 11, one like binary code, 10, 10, 10, and it was like, right, then a little cosmic ray came in and flipped the switch and turned it to 1011. Which also, if you see the little emoji in my title, right, there's two eyes with the rainbow. So, right, being able to connect both sides, both hemispheres of the brain, the left and the right hemisphere of the brain, right, Eastern and Western hemispheres. Eastern philosophy and, right, the Western world. And then also North and South, right? And most say what goes, right, what goes up must come down. But gravity is, if something goes up, it's going to, right, bring it back down, force it back down, which actually is caused by, right, magnets, right? The central solar sun, and then the sun that we see, the central solar sun's in the inner earth, right, inside of your dark womb, your universal, right, your universe. The universe is inside of you. So your central sun from within, right, with your moon backing it up, 1133, right? It's like the angel and the jinn. And if somebody messes with it or it leaps out, right, becomes demon. Stuff like that. Connect with your emotions. Someone yelling outside. Not yelling, but and right on. She's having to talk. Somebody wants her attention. So that's important. When people want our attention or want our help, right? Or if I go asking for help or wanting attention, am I not coming from a place of feeling half empty? That doesn't mean we don't need help, right? There's not a time and a place to receive and ask for. But is that how we're built? Is that how, right? We built this city. Stand your ground. Right, heart intelligence way trumps my Trump deck of cards. These are the craziest cards ever. I had to do a reading with these ones. I had to buy these stuff, like, right, the gold standard. They're hysterical. Look, certificate of authenticity, gold foil. The Trump deck, certifiably insane. Maybe we'll pull a few of those too. I mean, look at them. They're very pretty. They're fun. I mean, I got a joker as a joke. I was about to say, not as a joke, but but 7 of spades. 6 of spades. 8 of spades. That's crazy. Wow. So the central sun from within, it's like, right, say this is the light, right, that we have lit at the top of the candle here, right? The top of the wick is lit. So this is where the light is seen, right? It comes out above. But the wick, it travels through the center of this wax, right? In the middle. So we, right, have a wick, right? Right? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And then when we wake up, when we arise with the sun, if you wake up in the morning and the sun's, right, arising, same with our sun, our ego comes up over our head and we arise with, right, they're dead. And we go about our day. And our sun sign is our physical, right, when you were born, your birthday, your physical born day, right, when you were born from your mom here on this human plane. But we don't generally think about how we were living in our mother's womb within the amniotic sac, which is time, synchronistic of time, or the simile. The simile? Is that the right word? Oh my gosh, I don't even know. Just kidding. Synonym. Simile. Anyway, a little sip of my tea. But generally, we don't think, right, that far back. So we're not going into the past like, oh, I'm going to, wait a minute, we're going to allow what we were before. We're just bringing up and allowing recognition of the deeper parts of ourself and the more that we are, right? The mores, the more. Joseph Smith, right? The mores. So the more that we are, we remember it, whether, right, gods with amnesia or, right, the Anunnaki and the Palladian wars, Pleiadian, excuse me. There's many different, which are all really the same too, but, and not, because there's, well, there is, but yeah, anyway, that's different. I'm just talking about the visions today, or going into the dark and seeing, being able to be the light, right? The light has to be turned on from within. Otherwise, we're chasing someone else's light or shine. Or as they say now, they've made a whole bunch of different words for it, right? They shine, talent, what is the other stuff? The glitter, glimmer, glamour, whatever. It's all same thing. Just taking someone else's energy, right? Protection guardian. As we just said, that is so nice. Protection guardian, drop your shields. So, I mean, using discernment, right? But being able to be uncomfortable is really important, and having adaptability, right, to different person, places, or things, because that's what makes us inside, right, feel differently, or we may question ourselves or feel uncomfortable, right? Putting ourselves, right, not putting ourselves, you don't want to put yourself in a situation, right, but allowing ourselves when we feel a little uncomfortable, again, using discernment, just to kind of be able to go more with the flow, learn how to breathe through certain uncomfortable feelings, right? That then, right, that feelings are our emotions, right? Energy in motion, that then rises our mercury, right? Then the temperature gauge starts going up from the gut to up through the belly, right? It's like the wave, the emotional body, the saltwater body. It's like, woof, right? Woof. And now the mercury starts rising, and it produces thought forms, right? Atoms, and they come steaming out of our temple or popping out of our temple, right? Shadow, same as vapors, right? Or our train of thought, right? Choo choo. Where does our train of thought generally go? And do we even pay attention to that, right? Pay attention, soldier. Otherwise, you have to pay money, right? Soul dyer, soldier. So if we keep marching around, right, and the blind man picked up his hammer, right? Instead of going to hit, that's kind of like Abraham, right? Going to sacrifice Isaac. It's like, and then it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not what that meant. It means, right, sacrificial. The sacrificial, that's getting rid of, not allowing that first negative thought that made our mercury rise and produced a negative thought and feeling that came out of us, right? We don't want to go with that. That's like a bad seed, bad fruit. Just meaning, right? Not like, oh, it's bad. It's just, you don't want to continue traveling with that, because now parts of you are out of you, right? That thought, that feeling, and that energy, alchemy, the gut and the, right? Because that's like the gut and Mercury combined. So that's like Saturn and Uranus, right? Mixing with Eve, the emotional body, and producing, right, an atom, or more than one atoms, right, and Eve's. How many thoughts and feelings can you have at once, right, in combination, right? This is alchemy, right? Formulas, right? So that's why metaphysics, because vibration, right? Rhythm, vibration is what creates form, right? Word. And any word that we think that we, right, especially repetitively, or say, or spell, right, or they're all spelled, whether we say them or think them, right? A word is a having all these thoughts all the time and feelings that are mixed up with them, and then da 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 da, throwing them out, casting them out, or leaking them out, or just accepting them, right? Because we're being provided with certain narratives, right? Certain stories, right? Along the media, right? Throughout our communities, right? It spreads like wildfire, like viruses, right? He said, she said. So when we, the people, start to believe the bullshit, right? We start weaving ourselves, and now we're all quantum entangled, right? It's like the big game of Twister. It doesn't have to be quite so difficult, though, to become untangled. Like the more childlike, right? Using our childlike imagination, not acting like a little bratty kid, right? A kid is a goat, right? And that's kind of like our teenage self, like our rebellious little rambunctious, like, I know it, or where we refuse to look at, right, what a parent or a younger child or someone else is trying to show us or teach it, because we know better and we're invincible and we just already know. And we want to go that way, and that's the way we're going. We don't have time. It's like that. There's that Harry Chapin song, right? The cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man in the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. Son, you know we'll have a good time then. And the song goes on about their life, and it's like constantly prolonging when we're going to have a good time, and when we're going to get together, and when we're going to do these things and be able to be happy, be like in that moment together. And it just takes a few minutes to create and make a moment that, right, that memory survives and lasts forever. But we get so caught up, right, in the net. Jesus is a fisher of men, don't forget. And there's many Jesuses. There's the Jesus Christus actors that mimic, right? And Jesus too, that's a, right, don't forget the J is silent from original language, right? And it's like a J hook, like a fishing hook too, right? With a hook on the end, or an arrow. Oh, we've just pulled that before too, broken arrow, right? Someone shot an arrow, or, right, or went fishing with a hook. They tried to come with a hook. Or a hook, right? Like, oh, I know what'll work. And they went casting out sentences, right? What's a sentence? It's a formation of words grouped together. Or if you get in trouble, we're going to sentence you too. So it's imprisonment under words, right? Word. In a sense. And then think of that term that I'm saying. I'm throwing a lot out right now, right? In a sense. So our human, right, senses are 5, right? Sight, smell, taste, touch, hear. But then we also have, right, empathy, telepathy, a whole bunch of other, right, clairvoyance, a whole bunch of other frequencies that we tap into and are able to, right, autistic, the autism spectrum, like Asperger's and what else? Lots of different acronyms and what have you. But that's like, right, rainbow seeds. They're going to be more creative, have more of an introverted, so to speak, because they're in tune with the universe inside of them, and they're in turn in tune with oh, hi beautiful, and in tune with look, star ancestors. As soon as I, right, so they're connected with the different colors of the rainbow, the different frequencies before we turn into matter form that we can see with physical human eyes, right? And the blind man picked up his hammer and saw. So being able to see in the dark, not always attempting, keyword, or trying, keyword, to make, keyword, right? Make something make sense, right? Because it can make sense in one way, but then we can twist and alter the perception, and now we see a whole nother side of it, right? And every word has a minimum of 5 meanings. So being able to, right, play with our food, so to speak, right? Food, the term in rabbit ears and quotes, right? Food for thought. Now breaking that terminology down, right? Food for thought, right? Mana, allowing energy to come in to allow our, right, again, we were just saying, our thoughts and our feelings to mingle, so we're not just spitting them out or leaking them out or casting them out, ejecting them all over, spreading them without processing them, and allowing time, right? Time is an entity, amniotic sac, time and space, space is an entity, to process. So if we're not allowing, those are that's the fathers, but those are also, right, the sons. If, right, the father is the son. If we are not allowing time and space for processing, we have more than one sun, right? Again, in the day, this rises and we see it, but what's behind, what makes the sun, what gives the sun its power to shine? What pushes the sun? And what is the, as I said, I want the sun. What is the sun? Enjoy success and happiness. And are you looking and staring and idolizing at another sun and worshiping a sun? Or again, right? And the blind man picked up his hammer and saw. Or are you going into the dark of self, right? Where we can see, right? The word dead means that, like, brain dead, not aware, or asleep and unconscious. So as we're igniting, say, as the codes are getting lit up through the central sun, through the cosmic rays, right, comes in all different directions. We at the stage, be devoted and committed. Shaman, trust in higher forces. And that's all what we're just saying, right? Like, trust yourself, which can, right, as we go into these deep, dark places of self, we close our eyes. It's like we can feel uncomfortable. The hunter, track down your fears and desires. That's what we're hunting. I see fear and I laugh in its face. Because fear, after all, again, the acronym, false evidence appearing real, right? FEAR. Or we get scared and fuck everything and run, right? We all do both and then some, right? So it's just being accountable, right? Taking a look at those things that we can't see. We can't just show people, right? This is the picture of it. No, we're going into the dark, and it's like great, and taking a look at our behavior. What makes our energy, right? Energetic bodies rise, right? Get triggered or get put into a fearful state. We use these terms of words, but right, what makes the elements rise or connects a spark, right? Something's connecting and we get, right? Inertia, we get, right? Or so the words that we're using, right, is really electricity and water and salt, and everything is, right, a conductor of electricity or a magnet, and it's going to either have a force to pull in or to push away, right? To either attract or repel. So we're in the middle as a being. How are we handling, right? Are we a good handler of fire energy? Are we a good handler of emotional energy, water energy? Right? Are we a good handler of, right, electricity? Right? The synapses going off, and electricity comes in all forms, many forms, right? But when we're getting like the brain as a receiver, like a sponge, so it's like zzz, 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 zzz. So when it's getting lit up, or the emotional body is communicating with the gut and Mercury, and then goes up to the brain, right? Up through the head, and then gets ejected out of the physical body. So it's like breath. We have to, right, allow it to come back in to produce, right? Be producer. So we're not just projecting negativity. We want to allow those things to come back in like our breath so that we produce and bear more fruit out of our tree of life, right? We're a living, walking, right? We're in skin. All of us are within this large organ we call skin. Right? So, but now we're coming into be graceful in movement and action. I got a little distracted. Just allowing ourselves to be a little bit more fluent in our own languages, right? That's going on within. Right? The more comprehension we have, right? Science and spirituality are also either side of the same coin. Just like history and mythology. Okay? It's like one side's history, the other side, or history and herstory, either way. And then the other side is mythology. You know, we have spirituality on one side and science on the other. Right? Spirit represents the logos, right? The logos was with God, right? The breath of life. The wife was with the Father. And then it got turned into, right, the word, right? Word. But we didn't have no words until we became man and started pointing our fingers and, right, using zeros and ones, our mouth and our fingers. Oh. So that's what we started saying in the beginning. Like, right, we don't look back far enough. It's like we're walking around and looking at all the things that we've gained knowledge on as we've gone through our lifespan as being, right, a man. When we started walking on two legs, you go back to when, right, you were a baby before you, right, when you were crawling. And before you came out of the womb, again, we lived in the mother's womb in the amniotic sac. That's Uranus and Gaia and the Eve mother. Right? So we had a whole lifetime within the womb of our Eve mother, right? The interdimensional, intergalactic. And then we died in order to be born into this earthly plane with air, right? The father Enlil, right? Prince of the air, and get adopted, right, by the government, right? After our physical human Adam and Eve parents give birth to us. So we've already gone through death and rebirth, right? How have we fallen? Our mother's water broke, and right, we went through the birth canal, right? In between the contractions, the squeezing, where it gets very narrow and then opens up, right? We had to come out of the canal and be birthed. So we were dying from the life, right? In the womb, in the liquid, before we breathed air, which is where we, right? We are our fetus, right? In the Bible, right? Mary cleaned Jesus's feet, or what, right? Or the woman with her hair, or whatever. A lot with the feet. And being with the feet means also being naked. I don't even know. So I gotta look into that more. There's more with the whole. And the feet are the soles, right? The soles of our feet. Just kind of crisscross things there. I don't know why that just came in, but but right. Well, because the fetus, right? Feed us. That's kind of funny too, right? The fetus, feed us. Right, develops within the womb, and the things that grow first are the internal organs, right? The internal organs and all the little nerve endings and all that stuff that grows first, and then the outer part of our body, right, encases what's within, right? Our skin, the largest organ that we're born within, right? 12. Right, which is able to breathe and stretch and move with us. Dream and journey. It ain't me. Air guardian, shift your perception. Again, she keep coming out, so that's huge. Reminds me of Carol. You know what I'm talking about there. Mama. Water guardian, connect with your emotions. So air guardian and water guardian, and they both came up often. And look, she has little black wings on her. Remind you anything there, Mama T? Black wings. Lady, enjoy growth and reap rewards. I love her. That reminds me of Janis Joplin every time I pull this card. Lord, won't you buy me? Ignite your passion. Fire guardian. Yo, we got air, water, and fire guardians. That's badass. And the lady. That's pretty cool. Right? And passion is different than want and desire, right? The passion of Christ. So the dream and journey is so good. I'm gonna move this so I can shuffle some cards. I think I'm done blabbing what I had to blab out there for now presently as far as the channeling goes, or whatever I was just downloading and spitting out. Oh, stargazer. Set your sights higher. And the blind man picked up his hammer and saw. Right, so going into the depths of self, into the dark universe of self, and being able to, right, ignite that furnace within, right? I nearly forgot my broken heart. Right? Circumcising. This doesn't want to work with me, obviously. Circumcising our heart chakra. Trust and thrive. A bad moon on the rise. And Hunter, track down your fears and desires. Again, so yeah, we want to track down desires. That's right. Desires come right along with fears. So if we're operating off hope, desire, expectations, want, right? Because that's coming from the feeling of lack. Then we're not setting our sights higher, meaning going into the deep and allowing ourselves to be that vibration. We don't want to desire it from somebody else. We don't want to have a want and a desire and an expectation and a need and all this need to feed, right? We want to be able to be and get what we need because we're willing and we're in, right? We're in, right? Keywords, we're in. And we can also appreciate, right, being able to then expand and say travel without, right, outside of self and be observer of ourselves, right, the outer environment, maybe how we're appearing to others. We could just think we're coming along one way, right, but the way that we're appearing, that's our rising sign, to others is going to be different, right, than how we feel inside, or then our sun sign, our little devil, our sun is letting everybody see, right? The sun's so bright on top. It's like, nope, this is me. This is who I am. This is what it is, right? This is my face. This is my head. This is my job. This is my body. This is what I do. This is who I am. This is what I like. I don't like that. Again, Hunter and Peacekeeper, let go of the need to be right. White buffalo calf woman. Right, so being able to tackle our desires along with our fears in a positive manner, just meaning we're going to take a look at that, because if we're allowing that to rule us or program us or control us, then we're going to be sadly mistaken all the time, right? We're going to get led the wrong way. Not that it's wrong so bad, but where we're not giving ourselves, we're not allowing that time and space, right, to allow things to bloom into, right, more, right, bearing fruit. A bountiful bumper crop. Make plans and focus. Yeah. I'm working on that a little bit more, but also not so much, because, right, we make plans and God laughs. So there's a certain thing to, like, right, having, right, it's like I have certain things that I'd like to see and develop, but I don't have a specific manner or a need for them to be a certain way. I'm right. It's like there's certain things, right, that I'm just going with the flow. But it's like, right, if you don't like it, you kind of just keep passing it. It's like, that's definitely, I know what I don't want. I don't know exactly. It doesn't have to show up. I don't have to put so much of a forceful twist on it that I'm trying to make it be something. I'm just allowing it to develop and grow. But I'm definitely, right, weeding out what I don't want. I can see and feel when something comes up that I don't like and that I don't want. So I can most definitely, right. And then the things that I love and etc. It's like, right, they stay, but they're there, but I don't have to make them be anything specific, right? It's like, because they're gonna be there no matter what, and I can blend them or use them in different manners, right? I don't know about the word use, but right, yeah, but yeah, allow them to mix with different elements and different, right, properties throughout space and time, so that I don't have to make them be anything specific. They can be fluid too, so that they're able to adapt and grow, and right. If that made any sense, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you've been told. But we're eternal, we never get old. Sound off. Right? Age ain't nothing but a number. Well, what's a number? Number. Frequency. What frequencies do we most, right, tune into? What repeat records do we allow? Well, map card to play in our head. Right? Are we able to catch that train of thought, that choo-choo train? Are we able to catch that train before it goes and takes off on us and goes traveling all around the world and picking up a whole bunch of 1221 unwanted guests? And then it comes back to us and we're like, that's not mine. It absolutely is ours, but it just came back with like a whole shit ton of attachments to it, like a virus. It's like now it came back with the fucking Trojan horse. And we don't recognize it. And we wouldn't have recognized it in the first place because we just allowed it to go spilling right out of us, or ejecting, right? It ejected right out of us, which is also representative of the demiurge, right? Sophia and the demiurge. So it's like when we're like, oh, and that it just goes, well, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Whoa. Let's see. It's Monday. What energy do we have to work with for, I don't know, the day, the week, the moment? Oh, there we go. Oh, commitment. Right? This came up over the weekend too, right? Like the lovers. And it said it was like, right, the womb, be at home, and the lovers, right? Being able to love ourselves, commit to ourselves, that we're not going to come from a needy place or a place of entitlement or a place of lack, right? Or feeling that we don't have enough, or right, holding on to resentment and anger and jealousy or any feelings that we're harboring, right? We want to take a look at them because that just makes us sick. And a lot of the time, people don't want to let go of those things because they believe, first of all, and may not be consciously, believe that makes them more powerful. Or, which again, they're scared to look deeper within that. Right? Anybody that's like, no, right? It's like, are they really so strong and tough or that busy? Or are they just afraid? Right? They're unwilling because either it doesn't make sense yet and they're not able to, right, feel the emotional or empathic body yet, right? Because the heart's been calloused for so long. Or it could be, Ghostlands. Commitment, right? Allowing Holy Spirit and Holy Ghost, right? Our own ghosts from the past, our own things that we fear. Like we were just saying, we may not even know what they are, what's dead and buried in there, right? It could be, we have 17, number 17, and this is 36, right? 36 is 9, Tesla number, commitment, and 17, 1 and 7 is 8. And then we're on the magic stream right now. You found the magic stream. On StreamYard, on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you find in the stream. Metaphysical Mama. I'm just teasing. We're streaming, right? I'm streaming live. I'm playing with the word, not like this is where Metaphysical Mama magic on the magic stream. Oh, metamorphosis, so good. Metamorphosizing the magic stream. How about that? How about them apples? Right? And so like as we come here, we gather more and we're able to put out more currents from this stream so that more are able to ride it. Right? That's pretty cool. Way of looking at it too. Okay, so being able to, right, again, this card came out like 5 times this reading, right? Shifting our perception, right? Being able to travel through different colors of the rainbow, or like Metatron, right? Different lines, right? Like the different spectrums, different from A to B, different linear lines in order to, right, see what works, what doesn't work. You know, that's too the masculine, like say intellect and knowledge. It's like, does this work? Does this not work? Is this or is not? or right, different combinations of what is right, what's wrong, what works, what doesn't work with different things. That's different than empathy and right, and but they both go hand in hand. We need both, right? Not one over the other or one better than the other or anything of that nature or any sort whatsoever, right? It's respect all the way around for having all these different abilities, right? Forethought, going back to that too. Food for thought. How many thoughts do we have before we create one solid, combined with our emotion and alchemizing the gut, right? The intention and the colors that come with it, the different atmospheric, the different airwaves, the different currents, the different frequencies that were blended together with those thoughts and feelings, right? What temperatures were they? Were they hot, cold, full of passion, anger, sadness, depression, right? Are they happy, fluent, and free? Like, ooh, that would be nice. But and I also just continue to let it glow, let it glow, right? Let it go, right? Jump into the magic stream. Make a commitment to jump into the magic of yourself, right? And you are the magic stream of yourself, right? Going into that stream where all the strands and colors of yourself are, right? I was like playing around in that. You've made it to the magic. And the magic is inside of us, right? We are the magic. Like, we are the money. We are the resources. We are the ones we've been waiting for, right? Being able to love ourselves, right? So that we can go through these stages of metamorphosis and find our magic stream within and allow that stream to flow, right? Creativity and imagination. And look at like the pretty like rainbows, like, and you'll just see above the hands here and stuff. It's like gold and rainbows and right, an equal energy exchange. This makes me think of you, Melissa, Mama. Right? It's like, you know, when we're coming from these places of, and it's like, and then we touch one another also, right? Because it works. We have to be able to do that with ourselves first. And then how much are we able to share with others and receive, right? And when we carry patience with us and allow time and space for processing, right? What a beautiful thing that is. And just imagine the things we're able to do, create, and be, right? By going in ourselves to, right, into our own magic stream, right? We are the magic, going in, streaming into ourselves, closing our eyes, right? And the blind man picked up his hammer and saw, right? Was able to travel within the magic stream of self in order to metamorphosize. I want to actually read a little quick something too. I have my Gnostic Gospel book here, and there's just like a little, I have it to the right page, I hope. Yeah. This is the chapter in this book is the controversy over Christ's resurrection. But there was just a little blurb in here that I wanted to read. It has to do with the apocalypse of Peter and how Peter in deep trance experiences the presence of Christ, who opens his eyes to spiritual insight. Certain members of the 12 later received special visions and revelations, and so attained enlightenment. So it says, the Savior said to me, put your hands upon your eyes and say what you see. And it's on page 22, just FYI, master number. But when I had done it, I did not see anything, I said. No one sees this way. Again, he told me, do it again. And there came into me fear with joy, for I saw a new light, greater than the light of day. Then it came down upon the Savior, and I told him about the things which I saw. So when we tap in and are able to go into, right, close our eyes into our magic stream, the cosmic rays that are streaming in, the energy that's arising from behind and below, right? Underground, the wind beneath my wings, right? Energy comes from under too. So we want to allow the energy to come in whichever way it is, right? And I mean, not just like, right, not just allow it in whatever way, that us, right? But allowing, just being more gently, just saying, right? Having the, being committed to allowing. It doesn't mean go jumping in head first. It doesn't mean I'm just going to grab everything and just allow whatever to come in. And right, that's how you get like, right, possessed, confused, go crazy, insane. There's a temperance, there's a tempering to all of this. This is why we don't just, right, throw pearls to swine, right? We, as we go through like what we were just reading, we allow the process to take place, right? The metamorphosis. We can't tell somebody else how to see, right? You have to close your eyes in order to see within self, right? The Savior said, cover your eyes and tell me what you see. Say what you see. And he said, I don't see anything. Nobody can see that way, right? So our humans, it's like, we can't see like that. We could, what do you mean? Close my eyes and look, right? But when he had him do it again, right? He had a combination of fear, because it's unknown and new, right? Virgin. It's a new version of being able to see, right? We can see in a variety of ways. Like if I start to learn to understand or understand something, right? I'll use the term of, right? The words. Oh, I see. So am I seeing something, or am I comprehending something and understanding it a little more so I'm able to, right, understand and see, right? But if we don't allow, if we're not willing to allow ourselves to perceive, right, shift our perception, then we're going to get stuck like a donkey with its head in the corner going, hee-haw, oh, baby, I like it raw. And that's not where you want to be, right? Although, like, and that could be, that's an alternate too, because they say, right, that's like Pinocchio turning into the donkey with growing ears and a tail. But then in the Bible, it's like, right, we want to come in slow like a donkey, not racing in like a mother effing cowboy on a racehorse, shooting off the cow, right? The freaking gun. Yeah, yeah. Right? I was like, right, the blind man picked up his hammer. The cowboy went riding on his horse. But then, maybe then he spotted the donkey. And Joseph in the technicolored coat. Oh, look, TV. Tel Aviv, television. Oh, I cut my leg yesterday in my sleep. That's crazy. You know what? I thought I did. And then I woke up and I thought I was dreaming. And I just now looked down at my leg and I have a nice little scratch and a bruise around it. Like, wow. Just, I'll share. I'll share. Where is it? Can you see? Can you see? Wait, where is it? There. That's pretty significant. That happened when I was sleeping. That's crazy. I had some crazy dreamies last night. Now I did it. Now I did it. messing with the phone. Yeah, I had some interesting dreams. It was all about parallels and like the different, like kind of what I'm talking about here, like one word and then it's like, oh, but it also means that, and then over there it's that, and then it's like it was like throwing the ball into all these different parallel perceptions. but that were worlds that that kept like combining, kind of like melding into a big fat man's stomach. But that, I don't know how to explain it other than like, or if you're in the middle getting bumped into a bunch of big bellies that were all worlds. I don't know. I could never describe my dreams. I don't usually dream too often either, but I was like last night I kept and I don't know if anybody experienced, well, today's what, May 23rd. Today's May 23rd. Yesterday was Sunday, May 22nd. So I took note of that 5 and then the 22222. But and I don't know exactly what the significant, I didn't look at anything yesterday all weekend. I didn't really do too much enter stuff with the stars or with the planets and all that, but yes. Oh, really? Stop it. She had serial killer dreams last night, right? Well, here, that's like serial killer. I got Arrowhead right here. I was thinking that yesterday. I kind of joke that often. I'm like, right, serial killer, serial, or Sirius star system, and how they take that's part of it with the dark mother, with the mother too, and then cereal and the grains and the grain goddess, and it's harvest time. And what you're right in there, yeah. Yeah, so I don't know what was going on in the ether or in the astral or in the multi, like in all our realms last night. Because some people tap in deep and that's like how they see, right? Like again, right? The blind man picked up his hammer and saw. And other times we're tapping into each other's normals, which isn't normal for us. So that it's like, oh, whoa, I saw this weird shit, right? It's weird, or I saw this, I happened to see something, or this dream I had, or this vision I had, right? A dream is when we're asleep and our eyes are closed. A vision is while we're awake. I say most often, it's like I dream while I'm awake. I say that all the time because like I really don't really have too many like dreams while my eyes are closed. That I don't really go into the dream, and if I do, I don't remember it. It's like for me, it's like I'm just jumping around like multi-dimensional realms, and I guess I'm somewhere doing something, but I never remember what that is when I wake up. It kind of like fades away, kind of like Joseph in the Technicolor coat. It's like a right? Like back in the day when we used to have the fuzzy TV and we'd have to use the antenna and the rabbit ears to make the picture clear. It's like fuzzy, right? And the colors, and that was black and white fuzz, right? And then the colors that make up the pixels that make up a TV screen. Now we have liquid, right? Liquid screens, but but before we had HD and all that, right? It's like they had a red, a blue, and a green dot, the dots. And that's it, right? Those 3 dots made all the colors of the TV. That always blew my freaking mind. Like, it's so crazy to me. The prime, how that, I don't even know whoever made the TV and invented all that, but right, the boob tube going through the tubal cane, again, right, which produces a hologram and a picture, right, from the vivid imagination of the clairvoyant. Right, that goes into again like Nicholas Flamel, Josephus, Odin, or what? Who's the clairvoyant? There's so many dang names. Edgar Casey, or I don't know if it's under Edgar Casey because that's a. But yeah, anyhow, clairvoyancy and imagination. Wheatfield, oh really? It is harvest time. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Cracked wheat. Oh, and that's like Herbie always taught me, never eat shredded wheat. Right. So if this is this way, but as we all know, when we see things in a mirrored view, like sometimes, right, like if I had the camera going the other way, then you'd see this in reverse. You ever notice sometimes, like, right, when people make video or whatever, sometimes it's the right way and then sometimes it's in reverse. Right? It's the image gets flipped around, mirrored. That's important too. The flip of the mirror and reflections. That was big yesterday too. reflections. And it was so hot and beautiful out yesterday. And then last night, right when the sun set, you could see these dark clouds, and it was like someone punched two holes, and you could see these layers of clouds. It was so neat up through the holes. It was like the ones that were in the front and the thunder clouds, and then like the thinner ones, and then you could see the bright blue. Kind of like this, yo. You able to see that good? But it was dark. But the blue was like popping through, like how the blue here is like right open there. And it was like layers through the holes of like different clouds. But it was dark out. It was sunset. So it was like after sunset. So when the sky was getting more dark, but you could see in the higher atmosphere that it was still mad light blue. It was blue. It was very interesting anyhow. And then it started downpouring. And we had some good lightning. I love lightning. We don't get that so often. So we had some nice lightning and a little thunder, and it wasn't so long. It was just a passer, it was like passing through, like Florida thunderstorm. And but yeah, it was very interesting and a lot of energy. What was I talking about? But reflections. So as the water was pouring down so hard, the drops were so big, and it was coming down like the way that I was looking out the window, the way that the water drops, like we're getting these glimmers of a reflection on them. It just was really interesting the way that my eyes were perceiving it, the perception of my eyes, and my eyes within. I mean, it was very interesting. And then it stopped. So yeah, it was interesting. Interesting little storm there that passed on through with the big holes in the sky. So let's see. The apocalypse of Peter describes, as noted before, Catholic Christians as those who have fallen into an erroneous name and into the hand of an evil, cunning man with a teaching in a multiplicity of forms, allowing themselves to be ruled heretically. For the author adds, they blaspheme the truth and proclaim evil teaching, and they will say evil things against each other, many others, who oppose the truth and are the messengers of error, set up their error and against these pure thoughts of mine. I don't know, this is a totally different page I'm on now, 103. I don't know, but I just happened to, whose church is the true church? That's this chapter. That's a whole nother video. Yeah. So and I mean, I don't have any beliefs or whatever. I read everything as knowledge. Everything just comes and goes and like, great. So that's why it always says, take what resonates and leave the rest. I may have, blab about whatever on here is going to, yeah. So like I just turned to another page I'm going to read. Let's see what it says. At the top, I am a jealous God, and besides me, there is no one. Others agree and attributing to him this more sinister motive, jealousy. According to the secret book of John, he said, I am a jealous God, and there is no other God beside me. But by announcing this, he indicated to the angels that another God does exist. For if there were no other God, of whom would he be jealous? Then the mother began to be distressed. Interesting. Others declared that his mother refused to tolerate such presumption. The Creator, becoming arrogant in spirit, boasted himself over all those things that were below him, and exclaimed, I am the Father and God, and above me there is no one. But his mother, hearing him speak thus, cried out against him, do not lie. Ooh, Yaldabaoth. Often in these Gnostic texts, the Creator is castigated for his arrogance, nearly always by a superior feminine power. According to the hypostasis of the archons, discovered in Nag Hammadi. Both the mother and her daughter objected when he became arrogant, saying, "It is I who am God, and there is no other part from me." And a voice came forth from above the realm of absolute power, saying, "You are wrong, Samael," which means God of the blind. I knew there was a reason I got put on this page, right? And the blind man picked up his hammer and saw. And then I'm going to get my blind butt out of here, not even knowing what I'm saying or reading, just jumping all over. And he said, "If any other thing exists before me, let it appear to me." And immediately, Sophia, and then in parentheses, wisdom, which is also a name of Athena, stretched forth her finger and introduced light into matter. And she followed it down into the region of chaos. And he again said to his offspring, "It is I who am the God of all." And life, the daughter of wisdom, cried out. She said to him, "You are wrong, Saklas." The Gnostic teacher Justinus describes the Lord's shock, terror, and anxiety when he discovered that he was not the God of the universe. Gradually, his shock gave way to wonder, and finally, he came to welcome what wisdom had taught him. The teacher concludes, "This is the meaning of the saying, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom." Womp womp. I never read that before. That was cool. Let the midnight what? Shine your light on me. I'm just going to pull a moon card to end our Manic Monday Metaphysical Mama. Movie, or whatever you want to call it. It just was another M word. I was trying to think. See what happens when I try to think? Moon message for the week. What do you need to release? So, right, going into the darkest parts of ourself in order to birth our light and know that we're not alone, right? Being able to shift our perceptions into more multiple varieties and forms so we don't get stuck, right? Listening to like Yalda Bayoff, like we were just reading. I am the only, this is the way, this is, do you want this one or that one? Make a decision. You have to. Or they just act like they don't know anything. And then you're left to, after they've already said stuff, and then you're like, well, what is it? And then they're like, I don't know, or, oh, I got to go somewhere. I'll be back. Or, I don't feel good. Right? They make some kind of big thing up all of a sudden. Those are flags, right? So taking a look at what we need to release, right? Your dreams need a practical plan, right? And right, getting out of the American dream. Remembering that you're the dreamer, right? You're able to receive these visions and bring your dreams that you see and that you, right, feel within and that you know are part of you. You're able to bring them into light and, right, show the world the fruit from your tree, right? As you see it fit, as you feel comfortable, right, doing so. Not somebody just coming to take your fruit, or they see your tree, it's starting to bear fruit, and they're like, oh, that looks like a pretty yummy pear there. Peaches, plums, and pears. Right? And some berries over there. Can I just have a few? How do you do? Right? It's like, how the hell are you doing? Who the heck are you? Jack of Hearts trying to come steal my tarts. Hold your vision, and emotions are running high. And yeah, you know, exactly. And so many that, again, thought they were going to get away with things. They thought because it's always worked before that it was still gunning now, you know. They had their heart set on, right? Their mind set, keywords, right? Was focused, zoomed in on, right? Which again, listen, there's been a place for all that too. It's just as we're coming into this new age of Aquarius, we're shifting, right? Our perception on a grand scale too. So we all have to go with the flow. None of us know. It's like, you know, none of us know exactly how it's going to look or what it's going to be. We just are going with it. But if we all participate, right, in putting forth that commitment, I just got magic prayer, right? If but committing to ourselves and the greater good of the whole, and so at least just acknowledging and being accountable for when we notice ourselves or others, right, having a rocky or imbalanced energy, right? Feelings and emotions are running high, or they're being hidden, or we're being told something that's like, yeah, but that's not the whole story. So again, right, you got to take it with a grain of salt. It's not, right? We want to be able to move a mountain with a mustard seed. We don't want your grain of salt, right? Keep your salt. I like pepper. Achoo. And I'm just playing around. Oh, and actually too, right? So before I had even the card I pulled before I came on to do the reading was defend to the end the worthwhile. Pretty cool looking card. And I'll pop back on and do another reading for this because these are long. Just to read out of the book, they're long. But so we got defend to the end, the worthwhile. And that's a number 23. And you see the feathers again kind of coming up around her and the owl on her head. You can see that good. So we got that. And at the bottom of the deck is right, swimming through against the grain. Right. I remember in the Bible too, it's like Adam, Eve, we see you. Or at one point they make it like, oh, then people think that they're not being seen. Right. So against the grain. And is she in the water? Actually, that's interesting too, right? Because the perception is she's in the water, but there's birds. So she's like flying through the clouds. Right? Water and air are very similar. And air is just, right, droplets of water. It's like everything's water. It's just smaller, teenier, tinier, right? We're able to, we call this air, but it's still vapor. It's still moisture. Atoms in the air. All right. I guess I also had my Toth cards here. And since I got my mama Poppy on the phone, I can't not. We have to. We have to pull one before we go. In the name of the moon, Mama Moon, and God, and Mama Mary the moon. How many moons are there too? And which moons are we speaking of? The moons from what? There's like one moon we see here. How many other planets have how many moons, right? And don't we have our moon sign is within? That's a big key right there too. We see the sun outside and we see the moon outside. The one that we call, right? Why do we see them? How are we able to see them? Where are they shining from? How does that reflection show itself, right, to us? in the sky. There we are. Oh, I think it was debauchery that went falling. Falling debauchery. Debauch. Yeah. Which that's yeah, right on. A lot of that going on. We're just talking about, right? People like this is like they think they have like maybe a nice wellspring fountain flowing, rushing out the freaking right. It's like, yeah, that's first of all, Mama M and I know, right? It's like, wait, where'd you get the water from that fountain or the oil from that spring? Interesting. Or like the money pit, right? The wells run dry. It's like, right? Grabbing onto, oh no. And then Princess Swords is at the bottom. So interesting. Princess Swords and Debauch. Number 7. So that makes me think too, the 7 deadly sins, right? On one side of us. And then we're in the middle. If we've been fighting for so long, now we have to relate, we have to make a rainbow. And the 7 virtues are over here, unseen. So we want to, right? So that this dude can become King of Cups, Emperor, right? The Hierophant, the Magician, the Fool. He doesn't mind being any part, right? He doesn't got to go running around trying to compete and being, right, this Knight of Swords, the print, right? Whether that's with dick in hand or sword in hand or finger pointing all over the land or pen in hand, right? Yeah, Prince got a fucked up attitude. Okay. Oh, and behind him is death. So there you go. It's like, yeah, putting an end to that paradigm, right? The prince, the king, the queen. This is mine. This is the way, and that's it. Right? That entitled that. It's all for one and one for all, right? Adjustments, and then underneath this is works, and underneath that I see is science hanging out. So that is pretty fucking awesome, and I'm gonna leave it at there, right? So it's like, yeah, death to debauchery, death to us living off of each other and the 7 deadly sins, because this just produces shit. And now we want to turn our shit into gold, right? And we do that through death and rebirth, right? Making adjustments. Faith without works is dead, and work without faith is dead. Right? And science and spirituality. And look, Kermit's behind. Right? This is spirit and science right here. Right? So being able to combine our magic and science. These are more Hermit can be a little more like using energy in order to produce effects, which isn't just naturally allowing nature and stuff to work through you. So, but it's not, again, wrong or right or whatever. It's just different, right? So just different. Anyway, Ace of Swords and the Sun underneath those. So that's pretty cool. Sun being born. So the sun coming into Christ consciousness, coming out of, right, our little devil, human, childish, like Adam and Eve selves, which nothing wrong with that. We're just evolving. Ain't nothing wrong with being in nursery school. Ain't nothing wrong with being, right, in elementary or junior high. And then once you come out of junior high and go to high school, then you look back at junior high like, right, but it was cool when you went there. Right? Or then now you're in college, right? So your high school or junior high experience, right, is going to be different than if you, right? So looking back on what we were before doesn't mean that that was so stupid or it was worthless or like, oh, for babies or for whatever. No, we all had to go through that, right? So now we all have to go through this. And this is just birthing ourselves into, right? We're all graduating. You get to graduate. Yay! And go from the little double sun, right? Death and rebirth, being born into a more purified, right? Harmonious, able one, right? Multidimensional rainbow light being, spiritual light being, born in a physical vessel. Heckle and Jekyll. So anyhow, this is way longer than I wanted to be on here, but I so appreciate your time and your energy and coming to hang out with me. And Mama Melissa, what a special surprise that was. And Jace, I'm so grateful for you guys. You have no idea. And I love you so much. Make plans and focus. Stay rooted and grounded. There's the earth. We had fire, water, and air before. Now we got the earth guardian here too as we end the reading. And on that note, know you're not alone and you're protected, and just keep doing the best you can to go with the flow and be the most authentic you that you can, and just keep out, right? Take out the papers and the trash or you don't get no spending cash. And two, right? If people are making deals on themselves and on the dead using money, because money is a debt. And anything that's been used with money, money's magnetic. That also contributes to people's karma because it's all traced. It's all traced, period. Right? So the archons, etc. That's why it's like they laugh. Whether it's a credit card or a bleep or a whoop or a doop, right? Money's made with ferrofluid, magnetic fluid that's made with iron. So as it exchanges hands, right? We'd say chasing the dragon, it takes just a little itty bitty 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 of your energy, like a hair. Right? So as money's being passed around, we forget about it, but it's always marked. And when something has, right, it's like when certain thing, whatever's been done with it and it needs to then be checked, it just gets reverted back through the files because it has a traceable magnetic current. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Should we pull a trump card before we go just for shits and giggles? Because they're so fun and gold. Solid gold. What's up, Trumpy? Got anything to say, Trumpy? Oh, he says he loves you. 10 of hearts. Love all the way around. That's a lot of love. I don't think we can ask for any more than that. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. I'm going to go outside and smoke some of mine. On that note, thank you so much for coming to hang out. Peace, love, and hippie hugs. And please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And I, again, really, really appreciate you coming to hang out with my crazy little nutty squirrel girl ass. And I'll see you next time. Up a deep, deep, deep. Oh, goes with the debak card. The 7. Virtues. Make a rainbow.